We are now in Unit 5, Section 4. And Section 4 deals with the use of examples. By the end of this session, you should be able to distinguish between inductive and deductive use of examples. Then you should be able to also explain the guidelines for effective use of. The use of examples is a basic teaching skill commonly used to bring a mathematical idea into student focus. Examples therefore serve as instantiation of a particular aspect of a mathematical idea, concept, or mathematical structure. And this one was said by Mason, Stephen, and Watson in 2009. So for effective teaching, the teacher should be able to use examples and also seek examples from the students in such a way to help the students to comprehend the new concept. Examples are very important for mathematics teaching, and as such, we are saying that as you use more examples, try to also ask the students to also bring in examples. If they are in line, good. If they are not in line, then you check them. You tell them how to give a proper example. So in dealing with examples, there's a need to talk about similarity and contrast. According to Adler and Ronda 2015, two necessary aspects for a sequence of examples that constitute a basis for generalization are similarity and contrast. And so, focusing on what something is through a set of similar examples bring possibility for generalization, that which is invariant. Similarities, so we say similarities on its own, however, does not draw attention to the boundaries around a concept and what so to what it is not. Contrasting examples that brings attention to students' class make available opportunity for generalization. So we have some 3 sets of examples there. We have set A, set B, set C, and they are all different questions. So you can ask this to the class. You can ask them to discuss what is variant or invariant in each example set. You can also identify examples showing similarities in each set of examples. Example A, example B, set A, set B, set C. You can ask them to identify the similarities in these examples. Then you can also ask them to identify contrasting examples in example set A and C. What are the contrasting examples there? Then what generalization can the students make from these? Another point that we need to consider is concepts. So concepts allow us to organize and store similar pieces of information efficiently. Once a concept is formed, they eliminate our need to treat each new piece of knowledge as separate category. Well, once the concept is formed, we are going to build on it. Matorilla, 1972, conceived concepts as hooks on which new information are hung on, or hooks on which we hang new experiences. Concepts organize our knowledge structure and keep it from becoming unwieldy and dysfunctional. Concepts help us to speed up and simplify communication. So if the concept is formed by both the teacher and as well as the learner, it helps in or it makes communication a bit easy or it makes communication easy. So effective teaching of new concept depends on the teacher's ability to one, make use of student existing concepts. I say effective teaching of new concepts depends on the teacher's ability to make use of the student's existing concepts. Again, the systematically organizing instructional activities. That's the use of examples in ways that enable students to understand mathematical concepts and also to use relatively concrete information in attempting to communicate relatively abstract ideas. So we are using concrete information to communicate abstract ideas. Mathematics mostly, people think mathematics mostly is abstract. So how to use concrete information to help to teach or communicate abstract ideas. That's the purpose for effective use of concepts. Then teachers should focus on situations and ideas well within students' experience and understanding. This enables students to perceive common features and thus to abstract generalizations. Then we come to inductive and deductive use of examples. The use of examples in teaching can be done inductively or deductively. Inductive approach is where the teacher starts with examples and make an inference or generalization based on these examples. Then deductive approach is where the teacher starts the generalization first and then applies it to a number of examples. None is known to be the superior to the other. Both inductive and deductive use of examples are assumed to be as par. None is superior than the other. None is better than the other. The effectiveness of the deductive approach is that the initial generalization, even when not understood, focuses the attention of the student on the aspects of the examples the teacher wants them to know. The effectiveness of the inductive approach lies in the student to acquire skills for looking for order. So we come to guidelines for effective use of examples. One of the guidelines is that you need to start with simplest examples that will achieve your goals. Then you then move on to complex examples. Another is that start with examples relevant to the student's experience and level of knowledge. Use examples that are on their level. Then another one is that relate examples to the principles, the ideas, or the generalizations being taught. The point of using examples is to illustrate, clarify, or substantiate a principle, a generalization, idea, or rule. So these are the reasons why we are using the example. So the example should be simple and should be at their level or their experience, and you need to make sure that the example is related. This is likely to be achieved if different examples are used. Similarity, clarify, or similarity, contrast, and fusion of more than one idea. Then another point for using example is that for effective use of example is to check to see whether you have accomplished your objective by asking students to give examples which illustrate the points you were trying to make. If students cannot give examples, then further clarification is necessary involving simpler examples or analyzing the generalization into several parts. This ends the session, and this session deals with induction and deductions the use of examples and guidelines for effective use of examples. Thank you.